Yep.
Hello, guys. Welcome to Sport Intellect Live, and today we're gonna talk about a few things which have been going on in the sports days. Actually, we've got in how what the day it has been for India in the past 2 days. Actually, in cricket. So let's talk about the Under 19 World Cup first, and actually, we have to talk about this. They were chasing under pressure, and we got Raj Bawa's amazing performance, all-round performance, and actually Yashdul leading the side really well, and even Nishant Sindhu played a really good knock on under pressure. So any takes on that?
Yeah, I would say it was altogether a clinical performance from India. They did not look under pressure at any stage of the game, though you saw wickets falling in clusters at some stage. You saw two wickets falling all of a sudden when Sheikh Rashid and Jastul was batting. That was an only point where I thought, okay, game could turn from here on to anywhere. But the boys kept, they were playing under so much of composure. They kept their cool, and credits to Raj Bawa, especially in Nishant, the way they took that chase deep and they wanted, as the great man says, MS Dhoni, as when you take the chase deep, the pressure shifts onto the bowling side, and that's exactly what happened. Even though the slight sniff of chance which England had, India was able to neutralize it with their kind of temperament, with their showed, and I have to give credit to Nishant Sidhu, especially Dinesh Banna, who finished the match off, and more importantly, Raj Baba. He was impressive both with the ball and also with the bat, and he's certainly an all-rounder, which many teams will be behind him to invest upon in the future. And he looks like a guy who's got nerves of steel as well. So you might hear this name more often than not because he's coming from a sporting family. His dad, Coach Yuvraj Singh, his granddad won in hockey gold in 1940 Olympics. So he's coming from a family which has got rich sporting culture. So he understands a thing or two about playing under pressure and playing in big moments, isn't it? So credits to him.
Yeah, and let's also take a moment to appreciate the selection committee as well. Finding these
Yeah.
under 19 players all together and bringing them, winning the under 19 World Cup.
Yeah.
So and 5 trophies for India in the under 19 World Cup. What makes India so successful in these under 19 games actually, which actually makes them apart from the other under 19 sides?
I think it's a system. That's why we have to give credit to BCCI and also the selection committee, as you rightly mentioned. Even yesterday, Lakshman came out saying that selection committee did a terrific job, and that he was spot on in saying that because the selection committee did not have a lot of stats to look upon the players. If you look in the 2 years, there was not any tournament which was conducted. Under 16 did not take place. Vinu Mankad did not take place. Vinu Mankad and Kuch Bihar took place this year. And Kuch Bihar did not take place this year. It was a mix, so it was very tough for the selection committee to select players. It was not like for the last 2 years they were having these set of players who they were, having their eyes upon. So selection committee had to do a really good task to pick these best 15 players to send them for a World Cup. And boy, did they play well! What a selection it was! Every player was, tremendous in the way they were entrusted with responsibility. And what makes them apart from other countries is just the system and the kind of quality of cricket they get to play. If you look at the previous under 19 seasons, at least three or four of the players would have already made their domestic debut, the senior domestic debut. So that gives them a lot more exposure, coming into an under 19 World Cup. Their nerves, settle down. They might have played under a tremendous pressure even before that, in matches where situation would have been even tougher. So that made them really apart. If you look at Virat Kohli, if you look at Prithvi Shaw, Shubman Gill last time around, these lads had already made their senior debut for their state. So the transition to under 19 cricket from there on wasn't a tough task at all. But if you look at this win becomes even more special because they did not get a lot of exposure leading into this tournament. All what they had was an Asia Cup and the Tri Series leading into this World Cup. Other than that, domestic tournament wise, Vinu Mankad was there definitely, but as a team, they got to play very less, and the exposure itself was very less. So that's one thing which makes these lads special, and it was pure talent, man. One of the best talented teams which I've ever seen because the talent was exposed not just in one department. Most of the players are all rounders. They could chip in with the ball and also with the bat and turn the match single handedly. And the composure and the calming presence which they have. One thing which I want to point out is Sheikh Rashid. He scored at 50 and he might have played that rash shot. But then if you look at the calming presence he has in that crease, he's got that Kane Williamson like presence in the crease. Even though you're two down, I am there, I'm having the control over the game. Same thing for Yashdul as well. So these two lads are someone who have impressed me a lot. Alongside them, the all-rounders, Raj Baba, Hunger Gaker, Vicky Otswell, especially the wicketkeeper batsman as well. Dinesh Banna, you saw him strike that ball even in that semi-final. He's gonna fetch a lot of money in the IPL auction, I believe.
Yep, true. And finishing off with two sixes to finish off, that brings a lot of memories back, rolling back to
Yeah,
2011. Um,
yeah,
Hopefully, we can bring another one in 2023 as well. And let's talk about India's win versus West Indies today in the thousandth ODI
yeah.
that India is playing. And actually, a few takeaways from here that Washington's return was amazing. Actually, talk about his bowling was like it was just too good for for the Windies actually, and Rohit's form as always he's just continuing from where he left off, and
Mm,
Virat was not playing like how Virat usually plays. Like he just went for the shots today. Maybe it's just the scoreboard pressure wasn't there, and
mm,
confidence that this performance brings to the team is also massive. And we have to talk about one person that is Siraj. That a wicket in the power play in the first 10 overs. It's actually happening after a long time. I mean, I guess we took a wicket against South Africa in the third ODI, but we should take these power play wickets consistently. Otherwise, we've seen it in the Australian series long back, and even in the South African series, we have not been able to uh, pick these power play wickets as well. So, any take on that?
Well, altogether, it was a performance which India would be happy with because this is their first win of the year. So they would take this win just to calm things down in the dressing room. And you saw the captain in charge was having total control. Rohit Sharma made his presence felt. He was spot on with the reviews. He motivated the team. There was energy in the team which was missing in the South African series. You saw even Virat contributing equally. So the talks about Virat not enjoying the post captaincy thing that can be rubbish right now because Virat also was getting equally involved with Rohit. So that those are good signs for Indian cricket. And if I have to talk about power play wickets now, it's big for India because one thing which India was missing, even with the likes of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, he was known to take power play wickets before, was that he was unable to take those power play wickets. And Siraj is just brought on for this reason. He's able to ball in the power play at the same time. He's also a very good candidate to close things off in the death. So these two things make him a very potent bowler in limited overs cricket, like we saw with him in the RCB colours in 2021 season as well. That's one of the very main reasons why they've retained him. So Siraj brings that kind of dynamics into the team. If I talk about overall performance, Rohit Sharma's comeback was something which was a key highlight for me because he's coming back after 2 months. So obviously it's not going to be easy for him to get going, but he was looking in supreme touch today, and that's a class of that player. And if I were to mention about Virat Kohli did not just look like Virat Kohli as you really mentioned because that's not the Virat which you see. And I could say maybe they were trying out something. I felt like to finish the match off early, try a new template as we discussed earlier. But I believe Virat Kohli is not that kind of player who will fit into that template. Virat Kohli should be that holding player. As we talk in football, a holding midfielder, what is his job? To slow down the game. I don't mean to slow down in cricket, but to give control to the game. If that whole string breaks, you could even result to a collapse. And that's where I felt, Virat Kohli's dismissal could have probably resulted in a collapse. But credits to Surya Kumar Yadav and Deepak Hooda, they were absolutely, clinical in finishing the game off. It would give a lot of confidence to someone like Deepak Hooda who's making his debut, and Surya Kumar Yadav yet again, he chips in with those 30s and 40s, which are very crucial, and he's yet again not out. So that's also going to give him a lot of confidence. And Washington Sundar was the highlight for me as well because he's also coming back after a very long break, COVID, injuries, a lot of, he was having definitely mixed feeling, mixed bag. But the way he balled in the power play, he was ready to slow things down, mix the things. So when we talk about finger spinners, they do not have a lot of variety. They have very limited variety, unlike a leg spinner. So, and especially someone like Sundar, Sundar is more a one-dimensional off spinner, but he was ready to vary the pace, try different angles, use his crease very well. These are some of the most important things for finger spinners to use, especially in one-day cricket or limited overs cricket. He was able to do that. And one of the other highlights also was, Yuzvendra Chahal picking up those 4 wickets. That's also going to give him a lot of confidence. Altogether, I'm very happy with the team's performance. It was a well-balanced squad which was put out on the field, and they delivered well.
Yep, and even one more positive is that Yuzvendra Chahal's bowling actually he looked like the old Yuzvendra Chahal that we knew, and after a long time seeing him ball like he usually used to, and really happy actually to see him ball like that, and actually that'll be it for the India's game, and let's move on to football. Let's talk about Barcelona beating Atletico Madrid by 4-2, and
Yeah.
Any takes on that? An amazing game,
Oh,
actually.
it would be win for Barcelona, and all the culés would be very happy with this because they were waiting for such a win, right? Throughout the season, they wanted to defeat a big team. They weren't able to do it. They came close against Madrid. They fumbled against Bayern throughout the season. So there was obviously doubts: can this team go against a big team? But if you look at Atletico Madrid's performance, they weren't. We did discuss in the podcast with Anthony as well. Atletico Madrid are not at the best of times. So this is the best time for Barcelona to play Atletico Madrid, and Barcelona showed why. Barcelona, could really step up their gears and the potency they've got in the team. For example, likes of Gavi stepping up, Adama Traore, Pedri, Dani Alves. These lads were absolutely top class today. So altogether, Barcelona would be very pleased with this performance, but they would also feel bad that they conceded 2 goals. If it was a 4-1 performance, they would have even liked it even more, and the red card would have really hurt them because the game could have turned completely if the red card like after the red card, if Barcelona would not have been able to sustain the pressure because Atletico Madrid was absolutely spot on in sustaining the pressure upon them. And Barcelona weren't able to get the ball much as well because they were just defending with 10 men. So these things do happen in football, and I'm happy that the way in which Xavi also was able to rotate the players well, and he was able to identify and clear the roles well. And a good start for Adama Traore, especially to get that assist. He was staying wide throughout, and he was getting into the spaces, making those runs. These things are so crucial in debut, right? And to play in front of the home crowd and to do well, now we have earned the respect of the home crowd. Now coming into the next game or the future games, the fans are behind to support you. You have had a good performance. Now Europa League, there'll be something they'll be going into that match against Napoli with a lot of confidence, I believe.
Yep. And actually, how big of a 3 points is this for FC Barcelona moving forward in the league? They're still 12 points behind the table toppers. How can they
Yeah.
catch up? Maybe top four is the priority, or what do you reckon on going to top two, or maybe winning
If
the league?
any could have asked any Kule before this match, right? What would you take? What would you take? Top four or league? They know league is out of question right now. Real Madrid is 12 points clear. Unless something drastic happens, they're not going to lose points right now. And they're a very consistent unit, and their fitness levels are really good as well. I have to give credit to Real Madrid coaches and their fitness trainers for that because they've been able to play with a consistent squad throughout the season without having a big injury at all. So that's where you have to give credit to Real Madrid. But now, if you talk to any Barcelona fan or to even to Barcelona players, what would have been the goal prior to the Atletico Madrid game? In January, if you were to ask Barcelona in the mid-season, what would be your goal to consider this as a successful season from where you were in January? There was a top four finish, Champions League qualification, and to win Europa League. So now you're in the top four zone. Now you're in the Champions League qualification zone, and that's something which any Kule would do at any time. And now Sevilla are dropping points, so there's an opening over there. Now to get into top three finish, that would be a dream for any Barcelona fan, considering where they were at the start of the season. When they started the season, they were ninth, 10th, 7th. Maybe if you talk a month ago, they were seventh in the table. Now you're in top four. Your Champions League position is right in the grasp. And with this squad, now they have enough bench strength to rotate as well. I believe a top four finish would be ideal for Barcelona for this season. Now, going forward in the next season, of course, league title hopes will definitely be there. League title hopes will definitely, probably encourage the players to even go one step further. But so far, with the squad, with the position they were in, top four finish would be ideal. And if they can get the Europa League win, nothing like it.
Yep. And actually, I guess that's it for today. And we'll be coming back with more lives. And obviously, as you said, we'll be coming back with a, a person who is actually quite known around the sporting world. Actually, not really known, but actually
In
quite known.
social media, at least.
Yeah, social media.
Yeah, we'll be coming with him. I'm not giving any hints right now. Guess who is that person? And we'll also be getting in some exciting players. We'll try to get in one of those under 19 guys, yeah? Like we got
Yep.
in Sarfraz before. If you guys haven't watched Sarfraz Khan's interview, watch it. It's already there on our YouTube channel. And we'll also try to get Michael from Australia. He's a huge Chelsea fan. So we've got a good team on Sporting Legs right now. So it'll be mixed bag to get a lot of people, their opinions. Altogether, an exciting season, both in terms of cricket, football, IPL auction, guys. We are a week away from it, and of course, footballing world. There are a lot been happening in this footballing world. For example, Manchester United getting knocked out, PSG getting knocked out of their domestic cups. So it's been a great start post the international break for the club season at least. We'll see where this goes. So this will be leading us into the World Cup of 2022. So huge, huge year ahead in terms of sporting action, in terms of cricket, football, and everything. We'll be also covering tennis as well.
Yep, and I guess that's it, and we'll end the live here. Thank you guys for watching.